If you thought the economy was on cruise control, guess again. Trump just went full berserker mode and slapped massive tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, Europe to come. And the financial world is now spinning like a drunk at 3 a.m. If you see memes around social media or hear the news constantly going on about this tariff war, but you don't really get what is happening, don't worry, I got you. Tariffs are just a fancy way of saying import taxes. The US government slaps extra fees on foreign goods, making them more expensive for American buyers. Supposedly, this protects local businesses, but in reality, it just makes shit more expensive for everyone. Why did Trump do this? Official versus actual reason. Trump ain't exactly subtle with this one. Officially, he says these tariffs are about stopping illegal immigration and fentanyl smuggling from Mexico and China, like some kind of economic border wall. But let's be real, this isn't about protecting the homeland, or at least not 100%. It's about flexing power. This is a high-stakes economic poker game, and Trump just went all in to pressure other countries into bending to his will. Whether it's strategic genius or just a chaotic gamble remains to be seen. But either way, the world's economies are now stuck in the fallout, and us investors, traders, are watching from the sidelines. Let's look at the numbers and find out who's getting fucked by this. Canada and Mexico, 25% tariff on all goods, with Canadian energy exports only getting a 10% hit. China, a fresh 10% tariff on top of existing ones. You know, just to keep things interesting. The EU, none as of yet, but Trump's basically staring at Europe like a predator eyeing its next meal, and they know it. This isn't just some politician versus politician pissing contest. It's about to mess with your wallet, the stock market, and even your favorite crypto coins. How did Canada and Mexico respond? You think Canada and Mexico were just going to bend over and take it? Hell no, they came swinging, and now we've got a full-on economic street fight on our hands. Canada's response. Old Trudeau fired back immediately, slapping a 25% retaliatory tariff on a bunch of US goods. He called the move unjustified and swore to defend Canada's economic interests, which, in Canadian terms, is basically throwing hands. The big irony is that Canada barely has anything to do with the US fentanyl problem, but they're still getting caught in the crossfire. Who's fucked by the response? US businesses that export to Canada, beer, steel, cars. Canadian consumers expect to pay more for literally everything. People who like cheap gas, since Canadian energy exports are now pricier. Mexico's response. Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum didn't waste time either. Mexico is preparing its own counter-tariffs, but they also played it smart. They negotiated. Trump agreed to pause tariffs for 30 days if Mexico boosts border security. They're sending 10,000 National Guard troops to the border. So Mexico's playing both defense and offense. They're retaliating, but they also know they got to keep their biggest trade partner happy. So who's winning so far? Well, Trump can already chalk up a political win. He got Mexico to tighten its border security, which is exactly what he wanted in the first place. A 30-day pause on tariffs in exchange for 10,000 Mexican National Guard troops at the border. That's a solid deal from his perspective, and it gives him something to throw in the face of his critics. Meanwhile, Canada and Mexico are fighting back, but let's be real. They need the US more than the US needs them. Their economies are deeply tied to American trade, and while they can scream and slap retaliatory tariffs, they can't afford to go full scorched earth. That's why Mexico played it smart, negotiating instead of just retaliating. Canada, on the other hand, is going all in with counter-tariffs, but whether that strategy actually works or just pisses off American businesses remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the Canadian dollar has been getting its ass kicked. After the tariffs hit, the loonie dropped to its lowest point since 2003, which means imports just got way more expensive for Canada. If this keeps up, they're going to be in a world of hurt, paying more for everything while trying to fight a trade war they can't really afford. Long story short, Canada might be cooked. What's next for the EU? If Canada and Mexico got smacked first, Europe knows their turn is coming. Trump's been throwing hints like a drunk ex texting at 2 a.m., making it clear that the EU is next on his list. And trust me, when Trump starts talking tariffs, things get real fast. Right now, the EU is bracing for impact, with French President Emmanuel Macron already running his mouth about how Europe won't be bullied and will stand up for itself. That's cute, but let's not pretend Europe is in a strong position here. If Trump decides to hit EU exports, especially cars, luxury goods and industrial equipment, they're in for a rough ride. The US is one of Europe's biggest markets, and a tariff war would send ripples through Germany, France and Italy faster than a bottle of cheap whiskey at an Irish wake. But the EU isn't just rolling over either. Macron, alongside German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, is already prepping retaliatory tariffs in case Trump follows through. The problem? Europe is already dealing with slower economic growth, a messy energy crisis, and inflation that won't go away. They don't have much room to take another economic hit. At the end of the day, this could go one of two ways. One, Trump throws out tariffs, Europe retaliates, and we get a full-blown US-EU trade war, where everything from BMWs to French wine to American whiskey gets caught in the crossfire. 2. The EU tries to negotiate, just like Mexico did, hoping to talk their way out of getting slapped with tariffs. Knowing Trump, option 1 feels way more likely. And if that happens, expect markets to get even more volatile, with European stocks taking a gut punch and American companies with big EU sales, think Tesla, Apple, Boeing, feeling the burn. How this tariff war affects regular folk, stocks and crypto. Get ready to pay more for everything. If you live in the US, Canada or Mexico, congratulations. You just got an inflation bonus round. Prices on everyday items like gas, groceries, cars and electronics are going up. Companies aren't eating the extra cost of tariffs, they're passing it on to you. Want that new iPhone? More expensive. Need a six-pack of beer? That Modelo is now a luxury item. Filling up your tank? Hope you like donating your paycheck to the oil gods. It's a lose-lose for the average person, no matter what side of the border you're on. Stocks. Say hello to volatility and panic selling. Wall Street hates uncertainty, and this tariff war is like giving an already anxious investor a double espresso and a slap in the face. Tech stocks are taking a beating, Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, because they rely on global supply chains that just got more expensive. Safe haven plays like gold and bonds are pumping as investors look for shelter. And if this escalates, we're going to see wild swings in the market, big red days, fake rebounds, and overall chaos. If you're looking to buy the dip, strap in, because this ride isn't slowing down anytime soon. Crypto. A bloody uncertain mess. Crypto got dragged into this shutstorm too, with Bitcoin and Ethereum dumping right after the tariffs hit. Why? Because inflation fears mean the Fed might not cut interest rates, and crypto thrives in a low-rate, high-risk environment. If the market starts thinking inflation is going to stay high, BTC could struggle in the short term. But long-term, crypto is still the wild card. If investors lose trust in governments and traditional finance, we might see another rush into Bitcoin as a the system hedge. What happens next? Honestly, nobody knows for sure, and anyone who says otherwise is lying. This tariff war is just getting warmed up, and nobody knows exactly how far Trump is willing to take it. If Canada, Mexico, and the EU keep fighting back, we could see even bigger economic shockwaves, more market chaos, and higher prices on damn near everything. If they cave, well then Trump walks away with a political win and business as usual, except for the fact that markets and supply chains are already rattled. For now, the stock market stays volatile. Crypto stays shaky. Regular people keep getting fucked at checkout. The next big moves will come from the EU, and whether they negotiate or retaliate. Either way, brace yourself, because this trade war ain't over yet.